Ghost Rider coming on his motorcycle to your town with a flaming head. It's the Ghost Rider rooming up a motorcycle, gonna knock down your house. Cause it's the Ghost Rider. It's got the flaming wheels and a flaming head. Ghost Rider. That's the theme song to Ghost Rider. Wow. Hello everybody, welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm your host, Dallas Kemp. What we got tonight, the Squishy Squid said, we got Ghost Rider. Didn't you hear the theme song? It was the Ghost Rider theme song. Everybody knows it. It's classic. So last week we worked on our Ghost Rider. Schick and I have been working on our Ghost Rider. Schick did Awesome Blue Flames Ghost Rider, totally rad. I'm going with the more traditional, and so if you watched last week, you saw a lot of that. I haven't touched him since, so we're just going to keep painting on him. I got a couple ideas, like a couple things I want to change on him. So we'll talk about that as we go, and maybe we'll change it, maybe we won't. We'll depend on kind of where the day leads us. Like, do you want to see me change his pants from black leather to like more of a brown leather, because I kind of want brown leather on his pants, just to give him more contrast and visual interest, because everything's kind of black and red right now. So I was thinking about maybe changing his black leather pants to more brown, worn out, or we can keep working on the fire. So we'll kind of just see where the day takes us and what you guys got in your mind. So let's just get started. Switching the camera over. Oh, we also got painting protocol picks, so I'll be going over all 6 of those here toward the end of the show. So be ready. Oh, look at that. Whoops, wrong one. Gotta click that. Alright, so we did a wash on the metal parts, and I want to do another wash, so I'm going to mix something up. Once again, I'm going to use just some black, some art medium, just to make it kind of sticky. A little bit of water to thin it down, and a touch of gray, because I don't want it pure black. I want like a nice gray black, or black gray, however you want to say it. And I want to paint this in over the metals to really sharpen those dark areas. Now watch where I put my brush. I'm not going to put it over everything. I'm very much a fan of selective washing, very controlled washes. I'm not just a you take the wash and you slop it over everything kind of person, because you just get a better effect if you're a little bit more controlled with the wash. So just kind of choosing where the wash goes more than just attacking the metals. And the reason I'm doing this now is because washes take a little bit longer to dry. So I can go ahead and put this on and then be working on other elements while the wash is drying up. With that, I did just kind of slop it all over those handlebars. They did a car in black cherry. How would I go about getting that deep reddish purple? I'd have to see the image to understand exactly. I think I know what you're saying, but I'm a visual person, and my training is more, not my training, but I'm color matching and talking about the color, like you really want to see what you're looking at. We talk about a lot in the show how important references are. Artists use references. In the studio, we'll use references like to paint, to sculpt. That's so seeing something like that would help, instead of just, I think I know what you're saying, but I like seeing it. So fire is a lot of fun. So if you watched last week, you saw what I was doing. This week we're just going to continue with it, I think. So now that I got that on there, do y'all want to see the changing the pants to brown leather, or do we want to just keep going on the fire? I feel like I know where this is going to go. Whoops. I'll bring that down a little bit more. Just hit that chain one more time. A little more orange. A little bit more orange. Alright, so last week we did the off-white and we did the orange. So now I'm going to go into some reds. So you can pick whatever red you want. For this, I like a really good fire truck primary red. I'm going to mix a little bit of my orange in there. And I want to start at the tips of the fire. And I've thinned this down. And this does not have to be perfect by any means. I am blending this, but by no means is this perfect blend day. This is erratic, let little imperfections reside in it kind of flame day. It could actually be a little bit more orange. Let's get a little bit more orange in there. Let's bring some more orange. We did a wash last week. Now I want to come in, I want to refine tight the depth of that orange now that I'm looking at it, right? So, and it's okay to change direction in the middle of doing something, right? You're just like, oh, you know, I'm gonna start throwing red on here, and then you start putting the red on there, and you're like, you know, I should probably like establish that orange just a little bit better. And that's okay. That's what art is. You can paint over anything as long as, you know, on miniatures, it's as long as you're not glopping paint on. You actually have several layers to work over if you need. I mean, I know I've definitely painted stuff, but because I paint so thin and I try not to like glop in the details, I can change multiple times the direction of my colors without any sort of trouble or hesitation, right? I mean, even at this stage, I could go back and change this fire to blue easily. Like that is because I paint thin enough, you know, and it's not for competition, so that helps out a lot. So I'm not super worried about somebody judging it. So I can just go back and I can be like, you know, I adjust on the fly. You know, that's cool. What do we got here? Is the paint basically no, not glaze consistency, Mickey. Glaze is like super thin, right? Almost water. A lot of my glaze recipes are like 10-to-1 water ink, or even 15-to-1 water ink. This paint is still paint consistency. I just thin it down just enough, and I don't use a whole lot at a time. I'm not glopping it on. You know, you're just changing stuff slowly. Just a little bit, get a little bit more orange in there. Orange, there you go. See how that orange just redefines, sharpens everything up a little bit. Much better. Much better. Ghost Rider, come to town. Ghost Rider. We got a couple little licks around his head. Can't see the backside there. Sorry, I'm off. It's on the other side of the camera. Not much I can do about it. Oh, I missed that little flame right there. There we go. Just more intense. Mikey, not Mickey. Sorry. Jay Freilinger, what up? If you watch Schick on Tuesdays, he did Blue Flame Ghost Rider. So, you know what? We already did that. You missed it, my dude. All I see is chain I'm going to break and transporting the model. If you're not singing, are you even painting? Oh boy, you should be in the studio with me. I sing non-stop. Non-stop. And if you ever get interviewed, one of the interview questions we have at Atomic Mass, are you okay with listening to Dallas's weird music all day? Like, cause you know what? I play music all day. I can't think without music. I need it. Alright, so I'm just gonna go to the ends. This is orange and red mixed together, and I'm just kind of focus it right on the ends. And I'm staying away from the like recesses, right? You got the troughs and the valleys, or the valleys and the peaks. Staying away from the valleys, right? That's where you want your white flame to be. So I'm staying away from that. That indicates the heat, right? Like, let's imagine that the wheels are kind of cooling down because they're not the source of the fire. You're just being affected. So I want a little bit of my red, orange in the wheels, the rims. I don't believe in headphones. That's true. Like, there's too many people talking to me all day. Like, I gotta be nimble and on the fly. Plus, my music's dope. Everybody loves it. Bubbles. Get rid of the bubbles. This is usually when I flip the miniature upside down because I am right-handed, right-hand dominant, and I'd flip the miniature upside down, right? but for the camera, I can't do that. Can't do it for the camera. Yeah, purple flames records, Iron. That's dope. Frostlord Watt, what up? How do I keep watermarks off the thin paints? Well, just watch. So, how do I keep the paint chips off? Mainly you're just working fast. You know, paint on, grab a damp brush, smooth it out. Make sure you're bringing, big thing is just bringing the color all the way down and not leaving the little mark there. So a lot of red on the back and the ends. This guy's got awesome dynamic flames on his head. Super happy with the way the flames turned out on his noggin. Got these little licks here and there. I messed up. I smashed red on his shoulder. I just lean into it. I just use that to my advantage. It's fine. It's fine. Is the motorcycle based on a specific real-world bike? It's not based on any one bike. It's based off my childhood, actually. So I just kind of took some ideas from several different bikes, including bikes that you've seen Johnny Blaze on, and kind of made like my amalgamation of it. And of course we can't make a real perfect replica of a bike in hard plastic without a bajillion parts. That's the thing, is like we can make a very realistic bike, but it would take a bajillion parts. So but it's very much inspired by it's obviously a hardtail, right? It has no shocks. I really wanted a hardtail. Had to have chopper bars or chopper forks. I really went with the roadster style handlebars instead of ape hangers. But just old classic, stripped down, sleek. Not quite a rat bike, but just something mean and lean and mean was my goal. Lean and mean. I really wanted a lean, mean motorcycle. So. And I really love like old paint heads and shovel heads, so looked at a lot of that stuff. Mark, sir, I have no idea what any of that meant. Sorry. Yeah, it's that's an interesting part about like designing stuff. I have the for like Ghost Rider here, like I had real world experience with growing up around motorcycles, so I was able to bring that in. But when this is an interesting conversation. Actually, I love this conversation. Designing stuff, right? When you're doing art, so like the sculptors, or the engineers, even when we're working on a project, there's a lot of research that goes in to making the miniature, right? Is, you know, even if we're not making a real world thing, we look at a lot of images of real world stuff, right? So you look at a whole bunch of images and how things work, and you take a bunch of knowledge, and like next thing you know, you're learning all kinds of crazy weird stuff, right? Because you're trying to make the miniature better, right? That's just design and crafting miniatures. So like you learn a bunch of weird stuff just from trying to make not real stuff. Or you look at a bunch of not real stuff, whatever. You end up, it's a lot of research. It's a lot of learning and discovering stuff, discovering information about weird topics, which is a lot of fun. I'm getting a little careless with my phones now. It's alright. Alright, so should we go with like really sort of, should we blacken the smoke at the end like it's really just not healthy, or keep it the pure fire feel? What do y'all think? My brush is rough. It's time for a new brush. You turn the miniature upside down is so important. Smoky. Alright, I'm in it. I need a drink. So to do smoke, what to make it feel more smoky and that like belchy, unhealthy fire, right? There's a couple things you can add to the red. Black, obviously, or if you have it and you're a big fan of Bob Ross, you'll know like burnt umber or burnt sienna, right? And those are like really beautiful colors to work with. You can also add some burnt umber, burnt sienna. You can also add a little bit of like a sanguine. So that's like a purple red, right? So let's go a little bit of purple red first. So this is it. This is the smoke cooling down, starting to turn brown and black, but maintaining a bit of that rich red, right? So I'm just going to go right to very ends. This is very thin. You want it semi-translucent. Maybe just that big fire lick on the back. Maybe right there. This is going to just add some depth. I typically pick like a space like for like I really want this to be super dark, and then I kind of determine how far back the dark goes, right? So, and then you just kind of keep in that zone. So like I'm not going to put any up here. I want it back here where the flames are like pulling away from the bike, right? But not necessarily where it's actively burning on the bike. Yeah, you should totally paint your goblin. That miniature is a lot of fun. I super enjoyed painting him. Pretty sure I shared it on Facebook if you want to go find it. I think Schick shared his as well. Let's see, this is just really richening up that flame. Just adding that little more life and imperfection, right? You don't want things to be too perfect. Oh, don't let that bubble rest. Boop, boop, boop. Get rid of that. Don't want none of that. Get a little bit more back on the back side there. He's got this really nice little flame lick right there over his shoulder. It's really cool. There we go. Alright, so now I'm going to pull in that umber, right? I didn't even clean my brush. Yeah, you painted on stream. I can't remember if you posted on Facebook though, in case somebody missed the stream. No, I didn't even clean my brush. I'm just grabbing umber, mixing it with the reds and all that. And this really wants to stay at those ends of the flame length, right? Just darken those flame looks. There's one up on his head. Don't forget that one. And if you get in the valleys, it's fine. We can go back, we can reclaim it, or it's just okay. It's okay. Ghost Rider won't mind. Like a little. Just the flame wick. And I'm just having fun, right? I'm not really thinking about this too heavily. I'm just kind of getting some paints on my Ghost Rider. Now I'm gonna go grab some black, just pure black. Not even cleaning my brush. So I've got the umber, I've got the red, I've got the black. Josh, I love this miniature so much as well. I loves it. And I'm gonna put some, you can see I'm focusing even tighter on the far tips of the flames, right? And if you wanted this more smoky and more unhealthy looking, like really just, you know, like cancer, like it would just give you cancer if you got near it. Like you bring that over more, right? Just blacken it up. So it all depends on how much, what effect you want. Like I just want that little hint of like the fire's really kind of boily and unhealthy. But if you stretch that down and over more, you get an even more dramatic effect or unhealthy effect. So carcinogenic, that's the way I was thinking. It's not the fire I'm going for, but just saying if you wanted that. Dracula confirmed. What was people talking about in chat? Crazy Confused Paints, that's where you come. That's where you pick up all your hobby painting needs. People are just confirming everything. Josh, I got this yellow miniature over here. When do I get to share that? Never, yeah. All right, so I'm feeling pretty good about that fart. Let's make it hot. I got yellow and white on my paint palette. I'm gonna mix them together. I'm gonna come in, just pick a couple areas. It's a little too, and then some of that hot orange. So now I'm going to the tops, the ridges, not the valleys. And I'll start accentuating those. Past couple of days I beat the heck out of the brush. What am I going to do with the chain? I don't know. Let's get to it. Let's see what we can do with the chain. I'm just defining flames right now, so you know, we can switch gears. We can do whatever y'all's hearts desire. So what I'm probably going to do, I'm just going to keep doing this real quick. So let's talk about first. What I'm probably going to do is kind of do something very similar to what Schick did. And make it look like crunchy black over top of the hot flame. Right? So let's go ahead and do that. These little dots that I'm putting on the flame wicks, I'm just tapping kind of wherever, just letting them happen. So let's see here. So fire, if we remember, it goes from the inside out. So the deeper inside is lighter, brighter, and then as it cools at the surface, it becomes darker. So what I'm probably going to do is take some of that red, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of that sanguine in there. I'm going to take the edge of my brush, and as you can see, I'm using my finger to keep the chain from moving on me. You know? So I'm going to call this a dry brush because I did not dry the brush. I'm definitely just using the edge of the brush . Am I feeling that? I don't know if I'm feeling that. Like I said, it's okay to change direction. I think I just went a little too dark first. I think that was just a little too dark. Wasn't really giving me the effect I was imagining. Let's go more red. Yeah, we want to stay hot. Dry brushing is not a sin. I think you say that every week, Shanky. I just gotta disagree every week. Hot chain coming through. Oh my gosh. Yeah, washing a mile black after a sweet paint job. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that, Rikers. I'm just gonna go some really hot white. So like a little yellow mixed with the white. Oh, he's moving. I'm just upping that intensity down in the chain links. You know, once again to indicate that that heat is there. All right, we got about 15 minutes, so we need to go over the hashtag painting protocol winners for, not winners, picks from last month, which was, if you remember, the Black Order. And this month is metals. So go to the Atomic Mass Instagram and show us your coolest, awesome, dopest looking metal on your miniatures, any miniature from Marvel Crisis Protocol. So even if you painted, I don't know, Captain Marvel all metally, you know, I want to see it. Don't forget to hashtag painting protocol it. And then every month we pick some of our just favorites and we showcase them. Here on the streams. I'm just going to paint this headlight real quick. So I'll just put some little white dots. Boop, boop. Oh gosh, I'm almost out of white paint on my palette. It's got them sweet reflections. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about my Ghost Rider. I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, finish him off stream. You know, such it is. 2 hours for that's not bad. You know, I know you all have joined before, and I can paint a miniature in an hour, but I got a motorcycle and there's flames, so I always add extra time for special effects, and there's a whole vehicle. So, you know, 2 hours at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I do want to change his pants to like a beaten brown leather. So that's probably going to happen. I don't know. I'm going to contemplate it more. Now that I got the fire on there and stuff, I don't know. I'll play with him and see where I kind of end up. I don't know. I'm debating now. So, but I got several washes on the metals. I can start bringing those up and defining those. The black tanks are pretty good. And then I'll start adding object source lighting to everything. So I'll post pictures up on social media when I'm done. He goes over there for now. This moves over here for now. This can go stay here for now. Let's switch it over to me. Hello. So let's talk about hashtag painting protocol. Let's look at our picks. Are you ready? Are you ready? Simone, you're here just in time for the painting protocol picks, so let's get started. Boop. So our first staff choice is from Prometheus. I have notes for this actually. I'm gonna bring this up. I need my notes over here so I can read. Okay, so I don't know. This Black Dwarf is super cool. He's got really good skin texture, and I really like his matte armor. Right, you got this nice matte black armor, which I think is really working good for him. I think it's very interesting and unique. Just a really cool take, and I just noticed actually he's got the red inside to his pants. And that's a great little touch. It's just like a little nice added thing that draws the eye. And I mean, I'm gonna be real honest. He's got space bricks, and I think that that's amazing. So space bricks. Our next pick is from Griff's Minis. So we got this Thanos. He's got this really cool style and a very dark scheme, and it's really working for this miniature. The gems feel nice and smooth, and then you got this like kind of sketchy armor, and so you got a lot of contrast. So I really enjoyed this one. I thought he looked pretty cool. Very cool. Here we got Proxima Midnight from Zargargox. So this style is really cool. I really like it. She's got this deep red suit, making it very unique. And then the steel armor plates, right? So on the arm, shoulder, chest, and the weapon, you got this really awesome armor plates that stand out against steel. And then of course red and blue work against each other. So you get this like really nice contrast. But also, like, if you look at the suit, it feels like real worn leather, right? It doesn't feel crisp and smooth. It feels very rough and worn. So I feel like she's been out just conquering worlds in Thanos' name and hasn't had time to go for a change of clothes. So I don't know, very cool, very awesome miniature. Our next pick was also by Zargogs, which is this super great match to his Proxima. I mean, of course, Proxima and Corvus, husband and wife. So he's got this like deep crimson instead of the black armor. He's got this antique gold trim that gives it a very like regal feel, right? It's got like a really nice regal feel, but it still feels sinister, right? It still feels sinister, especially when you add in that black hood and cloak and the pale skin. So those two together, and then of course he's got like the great little extra trash on the base. I love it. Woo! Here we have another Thanos. So alternate color schemes are always inspirational. So taking that classic character and doing your own version is always inspiring. And I think Thanos himself would be super proud of this one. So you have the red suit. You have this like almost electric purple trim inside the suit. These beautiful purple tones in the shadows. And then like this antique brass, right? This is from Nowakowski. So very good job. I thought like this Thanos is super, super fun to look at. Very inspiring. And we have a black dwarf. This guy just looks like a comic panel, right? It just jumps off. He's got nice smooth base coats. He's got some good comic style shading going on, like with the black lines. It just has this nice comic book feel. It's very punchy, poppy. He just kind of stands out. So very inspirational and very cool. I also like I like the skin on him, and against that black, like yellow and black, always looks really super good. Bumblebees are cool for a reason. So you have a great looking miniature and by Wilton Wayne, and just overall this month our picks were wrong one. This one. Overall this month the picks were phenomenal. There's so many miniatures to choose from. You guys did great. Now remember though, when you're sending in your painting protocol entries, submissions, good clean pictures with not a lot of clutter in your background, right? So if your pop can or anything else is in the background and it's got its label showing, right, You don't want that. You want a nice clean background, maybe some terrain, but the cleaner and more focused in on the miniature and not a whip, not a work in progress, the better, right? And so keep that in mind, right? Like you got to paint a good miniature, but you got to show it, so you need a good photograph. You don't have to be the best photograph, but just a good clean photograph, right? Get a nice, put something up, put a piece of white paper in front or behind it. Get a photo box, something like that. So just nice clean backgrounds or some cool decorations, but don't make it too cluttered. You don't want to draw attention away from your miniature. You don't want the colors and shapes to fight for attention, right? Let's see the miniature. Show us the character, right? So that's it. Everybody did a good job. Don't forget, this month is medals, as I said. Show us your medal. So any Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature, show us your medals on Instagram, hashtag painting protocol. And don't forget to join Mr. Will Schick on Tuesday. I don't know what he's painting. I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but I'm sure it's something cool. I'll be back next Thursday for more painting. I'll be painting something. I haven't looked at the schedule, so I don't know what it is. But I'm sure it'll be cool, most likely. So until then, oh, where's my thing? Oh boy, I didn't. Josh, you're gonna kill me. I forgot to put in the social media page. You know where to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go check us out, and don't forget to check out our website every now and then for all the greatest and latest news information about Marvel Crisis Protocol and Atomic Knights games. So until next time, be safe, and we'll catch you next time, heroes. Bye. Bum, 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 bum. I'm singing before the standby. Placard comes up. Hit ball.